It's official. All right, welcome to our first Lunch and Learn session. Our topic is housing and shelter. Again, my name is Leah DeHoot. I am the Associate Director for Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia. I also have here supporting me Jerica, who is our campaign support specialist. So she'll be answering any questions and letting me know about questions in the chat. So let's begin. So please, in the chat box, please provide your first and last name and your agency and your city. So this is very important, not only so we know who's in the audience, but we will be giving out a prize to the agency with the most attendees. So we want, to make sure the competition is fair. If you are joining us by phone, you can shoot me an email and just say that you attended. So appreciate everyone coming. A little bit of housekeeping. It's easier if you're close extra tabs or windows, and if you're on the phone, you certainly can exit if you need to take another call and then just come back when you can, and keep yourself on mute. We'll be using the chat function for any questions. So yes, as I said, the topic today is housing and shelter. And just to give you a brief overview of CFC, the Combined Federal Campaign, CFC, is an official workplace giving campaign for federal employees and retirees. So it's one of the largest and most successful workplace fundraising campaigns in the world. It's become a tradition each fall, and over the past 60 years, we have raised more than $8.5 billion for causes like the ones we are supporting this week, housing and shelter. So in 2020, the CFC raised over $81.5 million. And to put that into perspective, $85 can furnish one portable relief bed to a person without place to sleep. So just imagine how many lives were changed with $81.5 million raised. Given the virtual world we live in right now, we wanted to help create opportunities for federal employees to hear from and interact from these charitable organizations. And so we've organized a series of Lunch and Learn events. And thank you again for taking the time to attend this event. It's because of individuals like you for the past 60 years that make this program what it is, helping those in need around the world. So to start with a quote from Matthew Desmond, housing is absolute essential to human flourishing. Without stable shelter, it all falls apart. And certainly, a home offers safe harbor to relax and a place to share, a hot meal with friends and families. Yet many people in the US and around the globe do not have this refuge of warmth and comfort. Unexpected conflict can, displace others, and certainly, leaving those affected with little more than clothes on their back. So during any given night in 2019 in the US, over 500,000 people did not have a home. And of those, 65% stayed in a homeless shelter, while the remaining 35% battled the elements and slept in parks, cars, and sidewalks. So here in the US, 1 in 16 children under the age of 6, roughly 1.45 million, have experienced homelessness. And roughly 31% of families with children under the age of 18 are suffering or have suffered from high housing burdens, which amounts to spending over 30% of monthly income on housing expenses. So certainly this is an important topic, and the CFC makes it easy for all of us to change the world. Your donation provides necessary funding for immediate relief. So thank you again for being a part of the CFC community today and become a change maker. So I just wanted to give that brief overview. Thank you for your for listening, but our true our speakers are who I want you to listen to. So please meet our charities today. They're on the front lines every single day, and we're so pleased to introduce introduce them today. We have, I'll be introducing them individually, and some will be providing a brief introduction about them and their organization. So first of all, we have Katie Harries from Operation Finally Home.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Katie Harries, and I'm with Operation Finally Home. I am coming to you all today from Austin, Texas. We are headquartered here in Texas, but we are an international or national charity serving veterans all over the country. This is our third year with CFC. I just want to thank everyone today for being on here and listening to all these wonderful causes. The virtual platform has been great. We enjoyed doing it last year and getting to talk to people all over the country. So I have a quick video for you guys and then just a brief introduction. Does not want to.
They don't complain. They don't ask why or why now or why me. They simply go when called to serve and protect our country. They don't know when they'll return or even if they will. And when they do return, they often face difficult challenges and unexpected obstacles. These men and women are America's true heroes, many of whom have a basic need, a place to live, a place to call home. With faith in God and determined action, Operation Finally Home answers this need. Homes that are mortgage-free, homes that are built by communities who care, homes that show America remembers and honors their sacrifices for our country. But we do more than build homes. We give thousands of Americans a simple way to express their gratitude and show their appreciation to our country's heroes. Visit OperationFinallyHome.org to find out how you can help create a home for our military heroes.
Our mission at Operation Finally Home is to provide custom-built mortgage-free homes and home modifications to America's wounded, ill, and injured veterans, our first responders, and their families who have sacrificed so much in service to our country and our community. We accomplish our mission with our corporate sponsors, our builder associations and builders and remodelers, our CFC partners, and all of our volunteers that help make a place to call home for our veterans. This is our need. Most of our new homes for veterans are veterans that are usually in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And they have young families coming out of all of these operations. And then our home modification program is typically your Vietnam veteran, those veterans that have lived in their homes for 30 years and they don't want to leave, but they definitely have some modifications that they need in order to survive and to live safely. This is our progress. We are in over 30 states. With over 350 projects completed or in planning. And this is our journey to home. We start with our builder. Our process is reliant on the building industry. We find our builder, we select our families with the builder and the location, and those three have to go hand in hand before we can even start finalizing a budget. And that is step 4, finalizing the plan and our budget with the builder and with the VA, to make sure that we are building the home specifically for the veterans' needs and wounds. And then we finalize our budget. We conduct a town hall meeting with the community, and they donate their services and supplies and labor through the builder. And that is how we come up with our budget. Typically, our budgets are about 2/3 full of donations, and then Operation Finally Home comes in and funds the remaining third of the home. And then finally, the fun part, we execute our pillar events, which is surprising the veteran with the idea that they're getting this new home. Then we have the groundbreaking and our notes of love, where we fill the home, the framework of the home, with notes of love and encouragement and blessing, and the family gets to come in and read it all before the drywall is put up. And then the family doesn't get to see the home again until the dedication ceremony, when we hand over the keys. CFC, we have been partners with you guys for 3 years, and it's been a great experience. We're doing a lot of events with you guys, mainly virtual, and 100% of our funds of our CFC funds go directly to projects and not our admin costs, because we have those covered through our awesome donors already. Our CFC volunteers are welcome to come to any events that are in their regions, and those events are put up on our website. And then also CFC helps to broaden our scope and our influence. We never know when we're going to meet a new builder or a recipient or a donor that might hear about us through a CFC participant. So you guys definitely help open doors to new regions of the country, and we are just so thankful for being a part of this. And this is a final video about one of our veterans who's giving back because he now has a home.
Finally tonight here, America Strong, and 3 words say it all: home sweet home. U.S. Army Major Eric King served 3 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He suffered from traumatic brain injury, nerve damage, and PTSD. It's been difficult for him to find a home for his family since his return. But 9 months ago, the city of Irving, Texas donated this lot, the flag right there, where his new home would be built. We have followed their steps there even before the walls went up. Volunteers leaving messages for Major King and his family. Thanks for serving. Welcome home. God bless you.
I wrote, thank you for your service and may God bless your home.
And tonight, look at the transformation, then and now. And look who's at the door.
Welcome home.
All right. Wow.
Keys to your new home.
Major King and his children walking in for the first time.
Wow.
The kitchen.
Wow.
His bedroom. A walk-in closet.
Okay, so I have to buy some more clothes.
His children in their rooms too. All part of Operation Finally Home. Since 2005, they've built more than 250 homes in more than 33 states.
I don't have to worry about the stress of a mortgage, so I can focus on the other thing for my kids to make sure they have what they need. This is part of the American dream.
And that dream sinking in tonight.
Hi, David, and to the great people of America. Today I'm spending my first day in my new home with my family. And I thank all of you for your love and support.
And we thank Major King for his service and all of those volunteers who made this home happen.
I love y'all, man.
We salute Major King.
Thank you all so much. I hope I got through this in enough time, but I'm happy to answer any questions later on. And thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Katie. Next, we'll go to Deanna Nyers of Global Impact.
All right, just shared my screen. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Deanna Nyers, and I'm with the Nonprofit Federation Global Impact. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today and allowing me to be part of this lunch and learn around housing and shelter. We are very appreciative of your generous support throughout the years, not only to Global Impact and our charity partners, but to all the wonderful organizations that you can give to through the CFC. So Global Impact is a nonprofit that inspires greater giving. We work to grow global philanthropy and also to build partnerships and resources to help the world's most vulnerable people. From refugee assistance to disaster relief, we support the causes that mean most to you. For more than 60 years, we've strengthened international charities, helping to raise $2 billion for humanitarian needs. Many of our partners work in housing and shelter, whether it's from a global economic development lens of providing those in severe poverty with the means to build a home, or by providing temporary housing following a natural disaster, or giving longer-term shelter during a refugee crisis. So here's a quick snapshot of some partners that we represent who are working in this space. Habitat for Humanity International, World Vision, International Rescue Committee, just to name a few. So our charities do work across all these cause areas, but to focus on housing and shelter, we wanted to highlight how your generous donations can make a difference. Each and every gift really makes an impact. And one of the great benefits of donating to international causes is that your dollar can go a lot further. So just a $10 gift can supply a box of supplies for home building. $20 can brighten a family's home with a solar lamp, allowing for tasks to be completed after dark. $30 provides a temporary emergency shelter for a family. $50 purchases a low-flow toilet for a home. And $75 wraps warm blankets around children who have been displaced by conflict. And so we've all seen on the news lately, there are many global emergencies that need housing and shelter support right now. Our charities are on the ground providing these services thanks to your support. In the South, we have partners like AmeriCares and international relief teams who are actively supplying food and shelter to those in need who have been devastated by Hurricane Ida. In Haiti, the earthquake on August 14th killed over 2,000 people and left over 1 million people in need of support. So charity partners, including Habitat for Humanity International and Hope for Haiti, are supplying shelter and then other basic supplies like food, water, and medicine as well. And then instability and violence in Afghanistan has made addressing this humanitarian crisis very difficult, but we have a number of experienced partners who have committed to staying in the country and supporting the Afghan people. CARE, International Medical Corps, IRC, and Save the Children are all on the ground providing assistance and shelter to those who have fled their homes. So here's just a closer look of what some of the homes in Haiti look like following the earthquake. These were taken by our partner, Habitat for Humanity International. So if you'd like to learn more about global impact in our alliance, please visit our website, charity.org/give. We have a lot of really neat resources there to share about our members' work, including things like this interactive cause area map, where you can learn more about cause areas that matter to you, or our world video map, where you can see examples of work being done in specific areas of the world. So thank you again. My email is listed here. I'll also post in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me anytime if I can support you. And I'm looking forward to speaking more in the panel. So thank you all.
Thank you, Deanna. And next we have Isa Marie McIntyre, and she's coming from Farmer Veteran Coalition. So welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing me to join you all this morning, or this, I guess it's afternoon, technically. I will be sharing some information about Farmer Veteran Coalition, and I just appreciate the opportunity to share an organization that I really care about. A little bit about myself really quick. I am an Army veteran. So whenever Katie was talking, I was just like, yay, that's awesome. I love the work that you all do. I'm an Army veteran. I did 2 tours to Iraq, a total of 27 months in combat, and I'm actually a caregiver to a wounded veteran. And I serve as a grants manager for Farmer Veteran Coalition. Farmer Veteran Coalition is a national organization. We are a membership organization, and membership is completely free. We don't require any application fees or any sort of fees for anything that we do. And our mission is to get veterans into agriculture. And I know that's broad, and the reason why it's broad is because we assist in many, many different ways. We assist all eras of veterans, and we assist any type of agriculture that the veteran wants to get into. And the way that we do that is through career counseling, business planning, providing financial resources to the veterans, by mentorship, membership discounts, and agricultural training. So we do agricultural training and apprenticeships, and that's primarily how we assist veterans with housing. Whenever veterans are going through one of our agricultural training programs, we provide stipends to actually provide assistance with the housing payment. So that's one of the ways that we support veterans in that aspect. We have chapters to bring our national mission down to a local level. And this is a map of our current state chapters, as well as our state chapters that are in formation. A few of our big programs, 2 of them, one is Homegrown by Heroes, and it's a branding label for veterans. And so if you ever see a Homegrown by Heroes sticker on a product, that means that product was grown by a veteran. We maintain the integrity of the label, so veterans actually we have to do some research and make sure that the veteran is actually the one growing the product. And so it is just a way to identify a product as being grown by a veteran, and it's a way to support your veteran. Our fellowship fund is a grant program that we offer to veterans. It's a stipend that we pay, or not a stipend, a grant that we pay to veterans that are in the beginning stages of their business. It's up to $5,000, and it just kind of helps support them as they're getting their farm business going, because those early stages are really, really challenging in terms of finances. We've given out nearly $4 million in fellowship fund awards to veterans across the country. And it just provides a way to support veterans at the beginning stages when it's most challenging. And then our agricultural training opportunities. So we have partnerships with many different agricultural training centers across the country. And our goal is to get veterans into those programs and transition them from the military to a career in ag, whether that's owning their own ag business or actually working on a farm. And so we assist them throughout the entire process. And that is where we step in with a stipend, because a lot of times veterans come with families when they get out of the military. And, you know, it can be challenging to transition from one career to another. And so we're there to help them financially and just support them throughout the way. And we follow up with them after the agricultural training program to connect them with jobs. So that's one of the things that we do. And I just wanted to quickly share this story. I was trying to get to it pretty quickly, but this is one of our veterans that we've assisted. His name's Alejandro Jaregi. He is an Army combat veteran. He's served in 82nd Airborne Division. He did 42 months in combat. He got injured in Afghanistan. He is a double amputee. He's one of those 1,600 that Katie had mentioned in her presentation. And he sustained a traumatic brain injury. So post-injury, he was trying to find his new purpose, and he decided that his new purpose was bees for pollination. And so he started with 75 hives, and he has 1,200 hives now. And the way that Farmer Veteran Coalition assisted him was that we actually partnered with 2 other nonprofit organizations, and we provided the forklift that you see right there in that picture. And so I'm really biased to this particular veteran because this veteran is actually my husband. And I was so blown away by the support that Farmer Veteran Coalition gave to my husband, that whenever there was an opportunity to work at Farmer Veteran Coalition, I jumped at that opportunity because I was just so blown away by the support that we received. But if you want to know more about our members, we have on our website, you can go to our website and click and view our member stories and learn more about how we help the veterans. But that's it. I appreciate the time to share.
Thank you so much for sharing, and certainly critical to ensuring that housing and needs are met by creating those jobs and opportunities. So thank you so much. Next, we'll move to Les in Mandate Democracy. Les?
Thank you, Leah. Is my screen showing, or do I need to turn it on again?
Not yet. So yes, just start sharing.
Is that coming?
We can see it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah, and hello, everybody. We're new to CFC. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan. Our mission is to enhance citizenship and citizenship control over their life situation and our government. Among the ways we do that, 2 principally. We conduct targeted online referenda, including issues like housing, to coalesce the people's voice on not the problems, but the solutions they'd like to see from our government at the local, state, and federal level. That's a pointed voice, having been a U.S. Senate staff director and Senate confirmed in the executive office. We're approaching housing as probably the #1 need facing American citizens. You can't be a citizen if you don't have a home. You can't be a citizen if you don't have a stake in your community. So Our programs develop citizenship centers. Excuse me. Our citizenship centers, I'd be preaching to the choir to tell you that it's the #1 problem facing America and our socioeconomic fabric. That there's no need more. Our teams are composed of technologists. We deliver packages to our democracy citizenship center communities to develop housing capacities. And for example, enlist veterans for job training and to get involved in their community activities. We bring teams together of technologists, bankers. We have strong relationships with large banks so that we can move into people's lives and capacity building with a well-defined business project. In fact, we establish direct LLCs to involve the citizens and communities in our housing programs. We do launch particular projects. I'll give you some examples as we go ahead. We've done, and because we are technology-based, we're trying to leapfrog housing capacity by applying the brand new technologies. We've built standalone, zero carbon, zero energy, zero water. Our projects don't require you lay in sewer lines and power lines and waste treatment lines. We provide totally independent renovation and new build community capacities. Our current projects, within the time, I'll show you some of them. Our advantage is, you all know, working in the housing area, and I know from my civic work and the big problem on housing is people have nowhere to go. There's the emergency housing. We have a program through our banking to give immediate bridge loans to people who are facing evictions. That's the immediate urgent need. But it's always people-based, and we have projects all over the country, from Holland, Michigan to Atlanta. Zoe Romoff, we work through a national network of several hundred representatives. We are unique in that we're community-based citizenship centers. Our housing programs are embedded in a complete socioeconomic uplift for our democracy citizenship communities. We create self-supporting ecosystems. We don't depend on the government to come and build new housing. And indeed, we galvanize and leverage our technology and our programs to bring in participating partners. Our aim is to change the social government fabric so housing is an integral part of the way our communities are functioning. Our builders do both conversions and new build, and this is important to leverage. You all know the problem with capacity in housing is there's nowhere you can go that's affordable to begin with. With our technologies and standalone off-grid infrastructure, we can take virtually unusable or unattractive lands. Our Hydro Valley project, for example, is converting basically a dysfunctional big box store into multi-purpose use for SROs, for smaller apartments, and repurposing using technology to provide new housing capacity. As I mentioned, we've been doing multifamily, and our projects include those things. We do it in a very business-like fashion. We create literal legal entities. Our lawyers draft up. So our participants, including NGOs like yourselves here, you are a partner and a shareholder in an ongoing economic proposition. You have a vested stake in your government and your community. We We get all the stakeholders in the community involved, importantly, all of the elected officials. Our people, Zoe Romoff, who's our lead for this zone, was here a minute ago. I don't know, I think she has to leave early, but Zoe's at University of Pittsburgh. So our reps coordinate the community housing projects. Our lawyers take care of forming the project LLCs, and literally our partners have a stake in their own community. They own a piece of it. I think that's fairly a unique approach compared to others. We're taking it from a systems approach. We value added to everybody. Our benefactors who will donate tax deductible real property that otherwise is not performing, our technology makes it performing. I'll skip ahead and give you an example of that.
I was just going to chime in a little bit, Les. We're running a little short on time. So I do know that it's very important for advocating as well. But I would maybe perhaps include your website so people can go in and see all of the amazing work that you're doing, if that's okay.
Thank you very much. That'd be
All
fun.
right.
Look forward to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So yes, please check out Mandate Democracy again. Yes, where housing is a right, and certainly appreciate advertising that he's doing here. All right, last but not least, we have Julia Doyle. So we're gonna go back to international, and she works with Honduras Compassion. So Julia.
Good afternoon, guys. I am Julia Doyle. I'm the Corporate Relations Director with Honduras Compassion Partners. And I actually used to work for the federal government. I worked there for 15 years, so I'm very familiar with the CFC campaign. I was in the Department of Ed, and I recently left about a year and a half ago to come work for Honduras Compassion Partners. So it is an organization I love and I feel very strongly about. I was also in the Peace Corps, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that model. So I will give you a little bit of information about Honduras Compassion Partners. We're a nonprofit in the States, and we also are a registered NGO in Honduras. And our registered NGO is run entirely by locals. And our guiding principle is self-sufficiency, healthy living, and dignity for all. And our mission is to help the poor and the underprivileged of Honduras become self-sufficient. And we really do that by building relationships, because you don't know what practical needs are unless you get to know the people, so you know what their practical needs are. And we have a lot of programs. And so that could be assessing individuals to clean drinking water, sanitary living. We do vocational and technical skills classes, youth kids feeding programs. But what I want to focus on today is our housing and our homeless focus. So we switched to this focus as a result of the pandemic and the hurricanes that hit Honduras back to back. So I'm going to actually share my screen and show you a little video that is kind of changed what we. Let me see if I can find it up. What changed kind of how we were focusing in Honduras. So bring this up. Give me 1 second. Pick it up. Sorry. Can you see my video or not?
I cannot. No, I don't believe so.
Okay. All right, so that didn't work. We'll go back to I'm not the best at the technology. So we are gonna stop and let me go. Oh wait, here we go, share. Okay, yay, I figured it out.
There we go.
Okay. Yay. All right, let me play this.
Have sound, but we can read.
There is no sound?
There's no sound.
Okay, it's not, there is no talking, it's just music, so. So I shared that video because one of the things that we realized as a result of helping that village is that many people, including the fire departments that were firefighters that were helping, lost everything. And so we started shifting our focus towards housing and towards relief. There are many homes in the area where families, single mothers with multiple children have, they live on dirt floors and they have tarps for walls. And one of the organizations that we partnered with is a carpenter, and he coordinates with multiple entities and multiple construction projects to build houses actually for people that the community has identified in the need as needing a house. And so I was going to share just a picture really quick of one of the women that we helped build a house for. This is Doris. And Doris is, when we met Doris, she was in the town of La Paz, in a little area, like a neighborhood of La Paz called Buenos Aires. And she had these two little girls at the time. They were 6 months old and 6 and 5. So they had nothing. She was living in like a muddy floor, and she just kind of kept to herself. And she's not married. And she was very worried because there had been an increase in child trafficking. And so one of the partners we work with said that they had a housing project that we could partner with them and provide a home for somebody in the community that the village identified as needing. And so Doris actually is the one that got the house built for her. And she has lived in this house for a couple of years, and her daughters have started coming out of their shells. The little girls, the oldest one was sharing with us that she wanted to be a small business developer. And they recently got electricity. And so I'm sharing this with you because this is a huge, stop sharing. This is a huge part of what we do now. And like one of our partners shared in the area, it is, I'm sorry, I was getting distracted by my computer. It is the cost of almost nothing to provide some of this stuff because we are international. $250 is the cost of everything to pour a concrete floor for a family. And that includes the labor and all of the parts. And no longer do families have to worry about mud if it rains, or the animals that go poop in the walkway. Like if it's muddy and it's raining, it sometimes flows into the house. And so people like Doris don't have to worry about their kids sleeping in feces. They don't have to worry about their kids sleeping in the mud, in the cold, in the wind. Same thing, it's $50 for electrical hookup. That is nothing, but it's about a year's salary for a lot of these individuals. It's $100 for a mattress. And so when we visited Doris, she indicated that for the first time in her life, she didn't have to worry if it was raining or not. And for the first time in her life, she had a locking door, and she didn't even know how to work a lock. It took her a while for us to show it to her. She doesn't have to worry about child trafficking. She doesn't have to worry about somebody taking her daughter and raping her. She has something that she can lock up every night. She has opened up her life to the community, and she invites all the kids in and shares her life with the community. And that's what housing does for these families. It transforms their life. That self-sufficiency is finally attainable. And it's not just changing one family, it is generational change. Because of a house, this woman can provide for her daughters. Her daughters can actually get an education, and they can move on and do something better for their kids. So if you want to know more about Honduras Compassion Partners, I can type up the website, but it's basically just hondurascompassion.org. And feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Julia. And thank you to everyone for all the important work that you're doing. So first question I'd like to ask what would be describe, and Julia touched on it a little bit, about describe how your services have changed or have had to adapt over this past year. I do want you to keep your answer to as close to a minute as possible, so we can get a couple questions in. But let's start with Katie.
Great. So the biggest adaptation for us this year is really just modifying our building cycles. Obviously, the building industry has slowed down significantly, especially in Texas with the big winter storm we had in February. Things just came to a little bit of a halt. But for the most part, we've just kept on going. Last year was one of our most successful year with completing homes for these veterans. So, and we were already working from home before the pandemic, so we did not have to change anything we were doing there. So we were able to keep on going. But yes, I would say calendars and building supply issues have slowed things down a little bit. But besides that, not too much adaptation due to COVID.
Thank you. Deanna?
Yeah, so, before COVID, there were more than 1.6 billion people around the world that were living in, unsecure shelter. And so these numbers have only grown since the pandemic began spreading across the globe. And, everyone was affected, and housing became even more important because, we were all adjusting to spending most of our time at home. But from all the challenges that were encountered, I found so much inspiration and hope from our charity members and their work. For most of our members, dealing with a global pandemic is something that they had really been prepared for. These are organizations that work in refugee camps where preventing the spread of disease is essential. They had already responded to the Ebola crisis, and they have extensive experience in health education, to really prevent the spread of illness and increase vaccine confidence. It's from these experiences that our partners were really easily able to adapt to a new illness, COVID-19. We even saw some members lending their experience right here in the US, which was really exciting, either to educate the public on disease prevention, or a few partners helped increase hospital capacity in LA and New York during the peak of the pandemic. So that was really exciting.
Great to hear. Isa Marie?
Sure. So the pandemic obviously had a major impact on our mission and what we do. It had a huge impact on agriculture, and we actually know of many farmers who actually had to throw out food because the food system was affected by the pandemic greatly. And so because of this effect on the food system, we actually saw at Farmer Veteran Coalition, we saw a spike in our membership, which really indicated that there was a growing need for our services and what we did. In particular, our fellowship fund grant that I ran through very quickly earlier, we actually had more applicants at the beginning of the year for this cycle of fellowship fund grants than we'd ever had before. And so we really had this great need, and unfortunately we weren't able to fulfill it as much as we would like, because the funding is down. So you have this growing need. This is what we're seeing in Farmer Veteran Coalition. You have this growing need amongst veterans who are in agriculture. And then you have this other aspect where the funding is actually harder to get. And so, you know, grants are getting harder to get, and donations, you know, people aren't donating as much. And so that's really been a big challenge. We've been trying to adapt and support our veterans the best we can, but definitely, I mean, I know we're probably all tired of talking about it, but the pandemic has really had a major impact on what we do at Farmer Veteran Coalition.
Thank you. Les.
Yes, most dramatic change. We've totally taken our programs upside down. Our thrust to create citizenship centers with a unified applying technology for housing stock, building capacity, brand new projects, SROs, multifamily, and so forth, all leveraging our banking and finance. We've had to redirect all of that immediately now for the urgent problem of housing evictions. I've redirected our lawyers and our bankers. As important as our citizenship center stock building is, right now we're facing, all of us, a tsunami of up to 10 million people who are going to be evicted. And bankruptcies for smaller landlord owners. I'm not talking about the Jared Kushners of the world, but unaffordable housing is now becoming fast unavailable housing. And there are going to be more people evicted and more people on the street. We're at the eye of a hurricane and is so tearing our socioeconomic fabric here. So what this has meant to us is now the lawyers, we're setting up bridge loan financing in our citizenship centers. We will not allow anybody that we can provide financing for a bridge loan to be evicted. We do workouts. We apply interim housing. So I can't overemphasize how the current world condition in housing has made us really get a sense of urgency and redirect our programs towards immediate relief to evictions.
Thank you so much. And Julia.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, I did touch on it briefly. I will add, though, during the pandemic in Honduras, families were not allowed to leave their homes except for one day every 2 weeks based on the last couple of numbers of their identification. And if they did, they were arrested. And so a lot of the families that we work with are families that are seasonal workers, migrant farm workers. They go up to the fields and pick the coffee beans off of the plants, and they were not able to leave their homes to do that. So they weren't able to have money. So they weren't able to buy food, and they couldn't leave their homes to buy the food. And so we ended up actually purchasing seeds for them to be able to plant in their backyard, just so they had something. And in Honduras, the soil is really rich, so it does grow pretty fast. But that was one of the things that we had to realize and shift pretty quickly.
Excellent. Thank you. And thank you all for being so considerate on the time. Thank you. All right. So I also want to ask you all, and again, please try to keep your question to around a minute. If there's one thing you wanted, our CFC community to know about those facing hardships with housing and shelter, and all that entails, what would it be? Katie?
I think for us, with our specific veteran that we serve, these wounded veterans are in a tight financial spot. Most of them have children and families to raise, but their medical income actually does not qualify. It's too high to qualify them for certain home loan assistance. But then also it doesn't qualify them enough to actually get a mortgage. And those that do qualify for a mortgage, the homes that they do qualify for do not work for their needs. So this is a very specific type of veteran that we're helping to serve and to get these homes for, so they don't have a mortgage and they don't have to worry about going through that process, and are able to move in and heal and move on.
Thank you so much. Deanna?
Yeah, so a common thread that is in so many stories that we hear from our charity members is that they're providing shelter to individuals that were displaced by violence within their communities. these people, experienced violence themselves. Perhaps they may have, lost a loved one, and now in addition, their home and their whole livelihood has been taken away from them. These people, they're just like you and me, only that they were living in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, providing that shelter for them is really just that first essential step to recovery and rebuilding for their lives. It's finally a place where they can feel safe from that violence and cared for. And so, again, thank you to the generous donations that help provide that for them.
Isa Marie?
Sure. I guess the one thing that I would want our listeners to know is that veterans are at a higher risk for facing hardships in housing. And actually about 21 out of every 10,000 veterans is actually homeless. And so it's a huge problem in the veteran community. And according to the DoD, there's 200,000 veterans transitioning. So service members transitioning to civilian life every year. And so, when you think about those 200,000 service members, they are at a higher risk for facing hardships in housing. At Farmer Veteran Coalition, we believe that reliable employment is maybe not the answer, but definitely part of the answer. And so that's why we strive to get veterans employed in agriculture.
Les?
A sense of urgency that has to be shared. And the belief that we can make immediate differences in the lives of people who are facing evictions and bankruptcies. There's no recovering from that if you have a homeless shelter with your children. So we're directing and would encourage, this is why the CFC is a welcome community for us, because we can leverage with our bankers and with our real property donations what was already a short tech-based time fuse to create new capacity housing. Now we want to direct that to immediate bridge loan relief. And we have quite a number of veterans that in our citizenship concept, they're going through retraining and new job training as well. All that means is we have a tidal wave of disaster and evictions facing us. There's one thing I'd want to communicate is that we all need to leverage our capacities for immediate interventions.
Excellent. And I will share Julia's answer. She had to sign out. But she did leave me her answer. And her answer is that your donations do so much more than building a house. It helps people who already have almost nothing, and it provides a security they've never had before. So everyone speaking today is talking about the impact of a donation, whatever the size, and really how much of a difference that can make in the lives of community members locally, nationally, and internationally. So thank you so much to you all. I'm pulling up my PowerPoint again, but as I'm doing so, if anyone in the audience has any questions, I would encourage you to include it in the chat. And while I'm doing it here,
we can see your presentation. There we go.
then I messed it up. Hold on. There we go. I think this is the one. All right. So thank you again to everyone who came today. Really appreciate you sharing your stories. And want to let everyone know that next week we'll be talking about end poverty as our topic. And briefly, final thoughts from all of our remaining charity members. Again, I can give you 1 minute to just give final thoughts and farewells. So Katie.
Yes, thank you all so much for having me today. We are again just so pleased to be joining CFC again this year. And thank you to all the other wonderful nonprofits that are on here today. We love partnering with other organizations and have been able to partner with new organizations every year thanks to CFC. So thank you all again, and thank you for your time.
Before I keep going, if you could also answer when you're with your farewell, we have a question of, are employees able to volunteer for your charity? So Katie, is that available for?
It is. If we do have a project, it depends on the region of the country where they are. But if we do have a project going on in that area, you can absolutely come out to any of our pillar events and see how we help our veterans, and even help on a cleanup site day if you really want to.
Excellent. Thank you so much for the question. I want everyone to answer. So Deanna.
Yep, thank you again so much for having us. We're also just thrilled to be part of the CFC for many, many years. And we hope you check out Global Impact and also the work of all of our charity members. As far as the volunteer question, some of our members do offer volunteer opportunities. They've registered them through the CFC, so you should be able to find them on the search engine. Or you can go to charity.org/give to find out more about each of our members. So thank you again. We really appreciate the generous donations and all of your time today.
Thank you. And Les?
Yes, a question and a parting comment. Will our slide deck be generally available to the attendees?
We can share that. Yes, we can certainly share that. And this is being recorded, so that will be published as well.
Well, fine. That has our contact emails, and Zoe Romoff is our lead for Western PA. But for volunteers, it's zoe.romoff. I just put it in the chat box at mandatedemocracy.org. We welcome volunteers and we welcome your programs. We're working with a lot of vet groups already, but we have citizenship centers now from Michigan to Mississippi, all over. We would like to partner with you housing specialists so that you can ride in our democracy citizenship centers with us, and we can give our technology to you. So delighted to meet this wonderful family, and we're looking to partner, and volunteers, as I say, Zoe Romoff from the University of Pittsburgh is our lead for volunteers. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. And Isa Marie.
Yeah, so in terms of volunteering with Farmer Veteran Coalition, it is on a case-by-case basis. It really depends on what's going on, but the best way to stay in touch with opportunities to volunteer is to go to our website and then sign up as a member. We have veteran members and non-veteran members, and if you sign up as a non-veteran member, then you'll receive emails about events and opportunities in your area that would allow you to volunteer. But also thank you all so much for listening, and whether you decide to donate to Farmer Veteran Coalition or not, just choose an organization that speaks to you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for everyone who is attending today. Thank you, a special thank you to all of our CFC charities for coming and sharing all of these inspiring stories. So thank you so much. Good luck in all the work that you're doing, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much.